always tell people to, try and start off with, 1 or 2 shares if you can. I prefer people buy multiple shares, or if you're dollar cost averaging, or investing your dollars and cents, buying fractional shares, pieces of a stock, investing $1 at a time, like I do with Amazon. I tell people to, just be mindful and earn all you can. But it's very important that when you get into a stock, if you're a small investor, to take the chance to actually learn about what's going on in the background, because the more you learn, the better decisions you would make, and the less you have to rely on experts. And I say experts because a lot of people are incentivized. A lot of these experts are actually paid to write, one way or the other, or they actually own the stock, and you don't want to get tied up in that. So learn as much as you can. My point number 2 would be, after you get started in the stock market, before you invest or after you invest, you really need to pick your targets and decide if you want to invest in a company and how much you're willing to lose, and how much do you want to gain. And the answer isn't, I just want to see it go up, I want to take the ride, or some people say diamond hands. The whole point of diamond hands isn't about glorifying losses or staying with the stock, whatever. No matter how they twist it, it's just the strategy of, if the stock goes down, you're not going to sell it because it went down. But in order to do that, it's always best to go into the stock with the knowledge of, I'm going to buy the stock at this price. If it goes to this price, I'm going to sell it. If it goes to this price, I may buy more, or I may sell it. You have to make those decisions before you invest, because that's the only way to take the emotion out of buying and selling stock. And it's just as much emotion in buying a stock as involved with selling it, because a lot of people, they waste time worrying about if they're going to actually purchase a stock they've been looking at. And then it seems like every time you buy a stock, it automatically drops down. And that's always disappointment. A lot of people say that, yeah, if you want a stock to buy a stock, if you, as soon as I buy it, it's going to go down. So don't buy the stocks I buy. But it's just, that's how supply and demand works. When you buy something, you are taking something off the market, and at the moment it's less valuable. And there's a whole bunch of other market factors going on, but there have been several times when I brought a stock, and as soon as I buy it, it starts tanking. And a few times I got restless. A few times I actually sold the stock, and each time that I actually sold the stock, I would say maybe 9 times out of 10, the next day, the stock was back up to where I brought it or beyond. And that's just what the stock market does. So you really have to have your discipline. You really have to think about how much money you want to gain, or how much money you can stand losing. Because when the stock goes down, people get nervous. I get nervous. And a lot of times I'm really ready to pull my money out, but I stick to my guns. I know how much money I'm prepared to lose. And on the other side of it, it may sound dumb. Like I said, I know how much money I'm prepared to gain. So a lot of stocks, I will say that, I want to make 15% off of this purchase. And after it gets to 15%, I'll either automatically sell it by putting in a sell order, or automatic sell order, or I will sell it myself. And I can always buy that stock back the next day, and more than likely I can get it for about the same or a different price, or I can buy more shares. But the most important thing is, at the time I locked my profit in, I thought about what my next move was going to be. And then before I reinvested the money, I decided, was it a good decision to put the money back into this stock, or should I buy something else? And that's where your watch list comes in. When you're going around traveling, when you're walking around, when you're in a grocery store, and you see these products you like, or you see these companies that provide services that you love, then they might be good investments. You put them on your watch list, and you don't have to buy them right now. you don't have to ever buy them. But as long as they're on your watch list, each stock brokerage has a list of stocks where you favorite them or star them or heart them or whatever you do, where it creates a list of all the stocks that you like, and you can look at those stocks every day. And a lot of times you'll look at the stock one day, the stock will be up. The next day you look at it, or next week you look at it, the stock might be down. And that doesn't stop you from liking the stock or loving the stock. And that doesn't mean that the product or service has gotten better or worse in the last couple of hours. It just means that people's emotions have changed about it. But you use that to your advantage because you've been watching the stock. You can tell that, when it's a good price. And there's many ways to tell if a stock is actually selling for a good price. But for me, the best way is actually watching the stock, paying attention to how it moves. And if I see it at a discount, if I liked the stock at 100, I love it at 80 and 90 before I brought it. If I before I actually purchase the stock, if it goes down, I'm not going to sit around and wait for it to go lower. I'm going to buy it, just like I would buy a pair of sneakers, or if I see this tie on sale. I'm not going to say, oh, tomorrow it might be 40% off. No, right now it's 20% off. So I'm going to buy it right now. And guess what? If I still have more money tomorrow or the next day, and it is offered at 40% off the next time, I'm going to buy it at 40% off. And with stocks, you can buy at multiple different prices. And what happened is when the stock bounced back, if it ever bounced back, you make sometimes double your money just from buying it below the price during a dip and when it bounced back. But you can also end up losing on that trade. You can end up buying it at 40% off or 20% off, and you got your discount, but now the stock is still falling. And that's what we call catching a falling knife. And you can decide to buy more. Me personally, I've been in that situation with stocks that I believe in, like Ford. And that's why I used Ford as an example earlier, because I'm very familiar with their business model. I'm not familiar with cars, I'm not a car person per se. But I was a long-time investor in Ford. And as the stock price dropped, I slowly bought one share. And then I buy another share. I wait 2 weeks, buy another share. And what happened is I ended up sitting on about 10 shares of stock. And what that did was it actually paid off because I was patient. After a while, I got kind of nervous. We had stock Ford at $9, and I started buying it at I believe it was $13, and this was a couple of years ago. And now it's right back up towards the $13 or $15 mark, somewhere around there. But I had to wait for it to go back up, and I believed in Ford because I got a Ford truck. I drive around. I see people driving Ford trucks, and the company, they have their problems, but I didn't believe they were going out of business. I didn't believe they were going to get restructured by the government. I didn't believe they were going to go bankrupt. So I would buy the company, and I said, I got 10 years to wait. I got 20 years to wait. I don't retire for another 30 years. So really, I got 30 years to wait, and this is not money that I am, paying my bills with or that I need for anything else. This is money that I had set aside. So I used this money to actually just keep buying small little chunks of the stock, and I got up to 10 shares. And the amazing thing happened. Like I said, first thing that happened is when I got my dividend check, every time I bought another share of the stock, every 3 months, my dividend check would get bigger. And it got to a point where, my dividends started off in, the pennies and dollars. And then it started becoming actually, more than just a single dollar or, up to like $5. And I don't have my notes in front of me, so I may be exaggerating a little bit because I've done this with so many different stocks. Like I have done it with Exelon Energy and Kohl's, and I invested in a lot of companies, and I don't remember off the top of my head my entry price and my exit price. But when I'm invested in it, when my money's on the line, I have that on my mind. I say, hey, I bought this Kohl's stock at $50, and now it done dipped down. I need to sell it at this, and I need to buy more at this point. And those are just my goals. But I always do it with the money I have saved up. And that's very important for you to actually have some type of money saved up, or not be investing your paycheck or your rent money or anything else like that. You want to invest with money from your savings. And like I said, when I first started, I was investing hundreds of cents in the stocks. And I quickly learned that, like, professional stockbrokers, they were actually buying hundreds of shares of stock, and I wasn't even buying a full share. But I didn't bite off more than I can chew. I didn't try and invest like anybody else. I used what I had, and I slowly built my position in Ford and several other companies where my goal was to have one share of stock. And then after I got that one share of stock, I said, okay, you know what? I want 10, because this company is paying me a 20-cent dividend. If I have 10 shares, then that 20 cent could go to $2. And that's just how my brain thought. And then it's like, wait a minute. If it's this easy to make money automatically every 3 months, I don't have to buy any more stock. I don't have to sell any more stock. As long as I hold on to this Ford stock or whatever stock that pays this dividend, then I can earn money passively without having to work for it. And that was the allure that made me want to invest in stock. My initial goal was to live off of my dividends. I have since changed my goal because I realized how unrealistic that would be right now. But in retirement, my plan is to not rely on my Social Security check. It's to rely on my dividend check to cover me for 3 months. And that means that since most dividends are paid quarterly, that means that I have to make enough money to last me 3 months, or invest in multiple companies and get multiple checks over that 3-month period. But that's my goal, and it'll probably take about, I would say, maybe $50,000 to maybe even $1 million to actually do that. And I probably wouldn't even be living wealthy, but it would be money that I've worked my whole life to acquire and slowly invested, and money that I don't miss, and I will be receiving checks from that. And anytime I want to sell that $50,000 to $1 million worth of stock, then I can do it, and I could find something else to do with my life or my time, or find another way to make some income. But that was my dream and my goal. And it all started with me investing stock. And for me, investing in stock started off as a method for saving, because I realized that, I'm no good at saving money. But if I buy some stock, it takes, 1 to 2 days for the sell to process. And if I sell the stock after it processes, then I gotta wait another 2 days for it to come free. And that was just the motivation for me to, really try not to sell my stock, for one. But that was motivation for me to invest more money in stock, just knowing that if I need it, I could access it. But it might take 4 days, so I didn't overextend myself. And that's one of the things that, that's one of the reasons why I love stock so much.